This recording was made on my iPhone. The background noise comes from the adjacent sales floor.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. During growing center store sales of natural organic, retailers looking to compete more effectively in the channel need to, and in any economy, need to remain laser focused on meeting the shopper's needs. We're going to talk about how to really grow sales in center store, so we'll get to that in just a minute. First, I forgot to ask, who here is a retailer? Any retailers? One retailer? Okay, brands? The rest of you are brands? Are you conventional brands or natural brands? Natural brands? Okay, great, thanks. So when I decided that I'd go out on my own and, if you will, hang my own shingle, I told people I was a category manager. And people said, well, category management, that's the guy that draws the pretty pictures, that helps put the products on the shelf, that keeps the shelves full, etc. That's not what I do. I can do that. But category management, or true category management, as I've coined the phrase, is everything from I've got an idea, does it make sense to have it on the shelf, all the way through how does a consumer use it after they take it home. It includes the logistics, the merchandising, and everything else. So I should point out that I'm the first person certified at the highest level category management proficiency. That's effectively a CPA or a JD or a PhD in category management. I started writing articles a few years ago, and interestingly enough, the first article that I wrote, for New Hope, was about how to get the most out of your broker relationship. After that, I became a speaker at New Hope, or at Expo. So yeah, I've written for all these different organizations, Progressive Grocer, Aloha, Supermarket News, Natural Food Merchandiser, etc. I've been a regular speaker at ECRM, Natural Food Products Expo, etc. I'm also a Break Meats Click Black Belt, Circle Up Advisor, and a BevNet expert, etc. Just to kind of give you a little bit of context, I do know what I'm talking about. So if you've got questions afterwards, please come up and see me. So some questions that we want to address today. What's fueling CPG growth? How do retailers and brands grow sustainable sales in an economy? How do retailers and brands work together, support each other, and take advantage of the better for you trend? And better for you, by the way, is sort of a generic for natural organic. And then how important is the shopper when considering different merchandising strategies? Before we go any further, there are a couple key points I want everyone to understand. Key terms: market basket. We're not just going to focus on your product, but the products that consumers buy when they buy your product, because that's key. Second thing, share of wallet. If I have $400 to spend a month on all my groceries, I have a lot of different places I can shop. The goal of every retailer is to try to get me to spend as much of that $400 in your store and not invite me to go shop the competition, okay? As you know, there's a lot of competition today. So a friend, Bill Bishop, coined the phrase personal supply chains. Personal supply chains, the concept behind this is that if I can't find what I want at your store, I'm going to go elsewhere. And every time I go someplace else, not only do you lose the opportunity to retain me as a loyal shopper, but you also lose the opportunity to keep me invested in your store, because you're encouraging me, quote unquote, to start learning about who your competition is and understanding what my choices are. Remember, Amazon, etc. is on this nut list. In fact, you can see where online grocery is growing to about 17% by 2023. So you can see there's another huge competitor that we need to be very wary of. So these strategies we're going to talk about briefly today are all about how to keep customers coming back into your store. When I started this process, my mission was to level the playing field for natural or smaller, less sophisticated retailers. By the way, if you have questions, there'll be plenty of time to ask questions afterwards. So the natural channel is about growing 12.3%. It's about a $64 billion channel, and it's going to grow to about 15% almost in 2020. So as you can see here, food and beverage is growing at about 2.9% in conventional. Food and beverage and natural, those growing at 11.7%. We're going to talk about that. As you can see by this chart, you can see the growth in the different segments. Growth is continuous, and it's fueled by the fact that the natural products companies are designing products that meet their consumers' needs. This graph is really interesting. If you look at this bin here, this is natural organic. If you look at this bin there, that's conventional. You can see where conventional is dropping off a little bit, and natural organic is actually taking the place of that or filling that void. Now this is really interesting. And this is from the Natural Food Merchandiser. They do a phenomenal job, Natural Food Merchandiser and NBJ, Nutritional Business Journal, of tracking or understanding the entire category. In fact, I think they do a much better job in helping retailers understand the category than anyone else out there. Manufacturers too. So anyhow, 41% of all natural products are sold in natural, but 41.2% in conventional. So if you're a natural retailer, this is a wake-up call for you to do a better job at keeping those loyal customers coming back. Got some strategies around that. If you're a conventional retailer, there's a tremendous opportunity for growth. So what fuels the growth? It's innovation. Now, recently I did a project for a huge mainstream, by the way, mainstream and conventional in terms of somewhat interchangeable, for a huge mainstream manufacturer. And they took a product that they had that was an energy drink, and they took the label off, and they put a new label on it, rebranded it, now it's a diet drink. They rebranded it again, now it's a breakfast beverage. So my point is, that's not real innovation. So true innovation is fueling sustainable growth in every category. So what is true innovation? If you look at the natural products, they're putting the shopper's needs first. One of my clients, Go Macro, has a bar that's kosher, gluten-free, vegan. They're capitalizing on every single important trend in natural. So they can put their bar on a shelf next to a Cliff Bar. By the way, I love Cliff. But they can put their bar on the shelf next to a Cliff Bar at twice, sometimes 3 times the price, and still grow sales sustainably. And we're going to talk about in a minute how that's how you're going to grow sales in Center Store. So natural products are the heart of innovation that is resonating with shoppers. So consumers are confused. So we're going to ask a couple questions, kind of get a feel for what you know about the different terms that are out there. And this will kind of help illustrate how difficult it is for the consumers, and they're not even in this industry. So what does natural mean to you? Does anyone have any guesses? Anyone want to speak up?
Clean label.
Clean label? Okay, and you actually work in the industry, so that's good. So clean label, what else?
Nothing artificial.
Nothing artificial. Okay.
It's not processed.
Not processed, good.
No GMO.
No GMO, okay. And you, sir?
I don't believe you.
Why?
It's not defined.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was going to get at. So all these points, I'm sorry, did you have a question?
No, just trending needs of the new consumer.
Yeah, well, natural, I mean, there's natural Cheetos. Does that sound natural and healthy to you? I like Cheetos, but the point is that natural is an ambiguous term. It really doesn't mean anything.
It's like healthy snacks.
Exactly. In fact, if you want something fun, go on YouTube and look up natural as there's a bunch of parodies about using the word natural to improve brand performance. They're hilarious.
You know that in Europe, natural is forbidden. Or you are conventional, or you are organic.
Yes.
So we cannot advertise natural in Europe on the products.
And
it's forbidden.
I can kind of see us going that way. And unfortunately, as a side note, if the natural channel got their stuff together and it worked to define it better early on, it wouldn't be such an ambiguous term. Because I think it's a great term, but yeah, it doesn't really mean
I
anything.
think USDA is working on it towards FDA.
They're trying to. And actually, this will kind of be the next question. So who here knows what organic is? Anyone want to offer an opinion? Go ahead.
Organic is highly regulated
Okay.
by the USDA. So
Did
it
everyone hear
actually
that?
means something.
So did everyone hear that? Highly regulated by the FDA, it actually means something. Thank you. Okay, what is non-GMO? Any ideas?
Produced without GMO.
It hasn't been genetically touched.
Very good. So now the next question is, and this is why this is important, which one is best? Show of hands for natural. How about organic? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and non-GMO. Okay, 1. What's sad is most people think that non-GMO is better. Non-GMO simply means that the seed is non-genetically modified. You could plant the seed in ground that is sprayed by herbicides and pesticides, but as long as the seed is non-GMO, it's a non-GMO crop. So, organic means the ground has to be clean, you cannot use any pesticides or herbicides, and the seed's non-genetically modified. So the answer to the question obviously is organic. And the reason this is important is because most consumers believe that non-GMO is better. Non-GMO is a great start, but organic is much cleaner, as you said. And that's a term I like to use. And that's kind of becoming a little bit of an ambiguous term too.
I regulated piece, because I find that in my community, even with my staff. That's organic. No, no, no. Organic is it's regulated.
Right.
So it's clean is like another part of the conversation. The fact that it's regulated is what I think people need to hear.
Exactly. And organic industry, to your point, needs to do a much better job of communicating it, because this shouldn't even be a discussion. And the point is that as you're working with your brands, your manufacturers, etc., your retailers, you need to help educate them on this. So, trust is important. And this is a quote from Campbell's CEO. Trust is key. And the natural channel is doing their best to bring trust and transparency into all the products that they make. Clean labels, transparency. Another client of mine does a phenomenal job of putting all the information out there about how they produce it. They actually have cameras throughout their facilities 24/7, so you can see how their product's made. You can actually scan a barcode. It's called a snowflake on the back of their back of their bottle, and it'll tell you when it was made, how it was picked, everything about the product. So, and just to kind of drive the point home one more time, products that do not meet consumers' needs, the number one reason products fail. So why is this important? Now, when I was growing up, I was told, never eat center store, and try to eat products that are unprocessed or minimally processed. Okay? Makes sense, right? That's not necessarily the case today, because if I eat an organic product, a grain or whatever that I'm going to find in the center store, I'm still getting a healthy product, but I'm getting it in the center store. Any questions? Okay, I thought someone said something. So there are a couple key concepts. Integrated versus segregated. So you got natural and mainstream. So which is best? The challenge is that most of the retailers out there put what they think is best without paying attention to what the consumer thinks is best. And I'll explain that in a minute. So the first situation is store within a store. So you've seen some stores that have a natural organic set. It's a separate store. And then you've got to move to a different section of the store, and that store is your conventional set. I think this is a horrible idea. Actually, I've written several articles about it that have been picked up by Supermarket News, Western Grocery Canada, etc. The reason for that is that a time-starved shopper doesn't have a lot of time to go shopping at different stores, even if it's under the same roof. First of all. Secondly, organic is more expensive. It's horribly expensive if you listen to the news, etc. There's no value proposition there. So I'll give you an example. If you go out and you buy the best mainstream bread you can buy, it's about $4.29 in Colorado. If you go out and buy the best organic bread, it's $4.59. So if I'm shopping over here and I see $4.59, wow, that seems expensive. And I go over there and I'm happy to spend the $4.29 because that's what I've been spending. It makes sense, right? So another strategy is integrated segregated. Now this is a little better because it puts both the natural set and the conventional set or the mainstream set side by side. So we've got the Kraft macaroni and cheese next to the Annie's or whatever, or in the bread section like we're talking about. Now I can start to see a difference. So if I am really invested in my family and I really want to have a healthy product for them, actually let me back up a little bit. If you eat the generic cheap bread that stores sell for about 47 cents a piece, a slice, 47 cents a loaf, excuse me. You notice how hungry you are a couple minutes after you eat, literally? If you eat the really, really good stuff, it lasts you for a couple hours. If you eat the good organic bread, it lasts you even longer. So there's more sustainability or satiability in that product itself. So having the natural organic bread at the 30-cent price difference makes sense at this point because I can compare the two. Or I can read the label and I can see this has more of the things that I want in it. Doesn't have the high fructose corn syrup, or does it cane sugar, etc. Okay? Here's what I think is the best. Integrated segregated, where now we're putting the natural products next to their conventional or mainstream counterpart. In this situation, it allows the consumer to be able to shop, read labels, and make comparisons, and then make choices that are best for their family. But here's why this is really cool. As we saw, conventional growth is somewhat flat, growing very slow, right? Well, now all of a sudden, I've given my shoppers an opportunity to spend more, to buy up, if you will, to buy better quality products that are going to better meet their needs. So from a shopper perception, I'm doing more to meet their needs, so I'm going to develop a loyal shopper. Number two, because they're going to be spending more in the category, my category is going to grow. So now I have the opportunity to defend and protect my category relative to the other categories, relative to the other retailers in the market. Okay? And then just to close, and we'll ask a lot of questions after this. Merchandise recommendations. Merchandise, natural, organic, next to mainstream. Leverage your category management capabilities. A lot of natural companies will go into a buyer's, and you've heard this I'm sure, and they'll say, hey, I'm a nice guy, please buy my product. That's about it. Or we've got a cool slogan, so this is why you need to buy it. So what I'm advocating, and the reason I started this, is if I can help the natural organic companies put together a deck that helps them, remember, level the playing field, so that they can help the retailer understand why and how they need to be on their shelf. So that's point number two. And by the way, we talked about market basket. Well, if I have a product like a really healthy bread, and it's 30 cents more a loaf, chances are consumers that aren't going to bat an eye at spending that extra 30 cents are going to buy the better spreads, the better jellies, the better cheeses, etc. So I'm actually growing sales in that market basket because I'm going to capture more of it, right? Adopt KPIs. KPIs are micro-strategies. Micro-strategies meaning that you're going to try to identify what are the top items you want on the shelf. For example, one of my clients has 11 SKUs. There's the 11 SKUs scattered in terms of distribution. They're all different throughout all the different stores that they were dealing with. So what I help them do is I help them identify their top 5 SKUs. And so now we've gone through and we've put those top 5 SKUs in every single store. Now they have a much stronger base to compete against. Their sales are growing because we've actually got the right products in there. And in addition to that, when they run specials or in and outs, they can bring in their secondary SKUs or their third SKUs, if you will, to help build the brand or build the brand franchise. But it's those key drivers that are really helping them to grow sales sustainably. In fact, actually, I ran into them at Expo, and I told them, if you do certain things, you're going to grow your business 30%. They came up to me and said, Dan, we grew at 47%. Not bad. So, take an active role in helping your broker-distributor. I'm a big fan of the broker-distributor network, but as you will attest, they have a lot of brands that they're working with, that they're trying to manage, and you want to help them help you. So if you can tell them where to park the car, you can tell them how to build your sales, what's going on, what's unique about the category, etc., then you're giving them the tools to be successful, and in turn, you'll be successful. One of the biggest complaints I hear about the broker relationship is, I don't know if I'm getting what I paid for. Well, if you didn't define it, then how would you know? Okay? Education. Not only educating your consumers about why your product's unique or different, educate the retailer and other people within the store who are going to be touching your product as to why the product's different. Again, why is organic better than non-GMO? So help them understand that, why your supplement's different. Vegan, clean label, all those key terms. In addition to that, scorecarding. Scorecarding is a great, not very well used process. And what scorecarding is, it's writing down what you're going to do. It's holding people accountable for it. So in other words, I'm going to bring in this product on this date. I'm going to hold this person accountable for filling the shelves, the signage, etc. I'm going to run a promotion on this date. You're going to the store, the retailer is going to put out an ad, etc. And that way, we can help work together, the retailer and the brand, to help build sales sustainable. Adopt the merchandising strategies that support growth. Again, don't just go to the retailer and say, hey, I'm a nice guy with a cool slogan, put my product on the shelf. They might put it in the back room. Just kidding. But I've seen some pretty amazing things. My point is, if you can go to them and say, look, we need to be left of X brand, and this is why we need to be there, and this is who comes into the store to buy it, then you've got a story to tell them. And with that story, you can help them build sales. Know your consumer. Natural consumers don't want to be sold, and that's key. A lot of companies are out there saying, I know how to define your customer, and I know what's best for your customer, and this is what we're going to do. Tell you a little side story. A little retailer called Walmart several years ago decided that they were going to get rid of all but the top 2 brands. They ended up driving a lot of sales to Target as a result, because consumers are going to buy what they want, when they want, how they want, and that's key. So one of the reasons why natural products are such a great advocate for a retailer is that the natural product companies are more in line with, or more in tune with, what their consumers want. A lot more so than the bigger companies that just talk at their consumers. And then leverage your data analytics resources. I've been told several times that I should just do this as a side business, helping brands, etc., buy the right data. Every data provider out there, whether it be Spence, IRI, or Nielsen, they're in the business to sell data. And they do a great job of it, but almost everyone buys something that they don't need. So understanding what data you need and how to use it, how it's going to help you build your business is key. And then secondly, find out how to navigate the data maze. So anyhow, that's it. I know I talked really, really fast. I've got 10 minutes. Any questions?
I think you should add one point.
Sure.
Affordability.
Affordability. How do you
I mean that natural organic is too expensive.
You know why it's too expensive? Great question. He just asked, made the comment that natural organic is too expensive. The reason, one of the primary reasons why, is because of all the layers of complexity that are between the farmer, if you are, the brand, and the retailer. You've got the broker that wants a chunk of money, you've got the distributor wants a chunk of money, etc. At Kimberly-Clark, we took a truck and we dropped it off at Walmart's distribution center. The truck was never unloaded. They did what they call cross-docking, so they took the product and they put it in another truck that went to the individual Walmart store. Those efficiencies in the conventional channel are what keep food prices really, really low. So, one, if we can figure out a way to improve the logistics, some of what we talked about will help with that. Two, if we can figure out ways to help increase consumption, that will lower price, because remember, consumers want what they want. And three, if we can show consumers that 30-cent price difference is really nothing. You're buying much more product, if you will, or something that's going to last or sustain you a lot longer. So, okay, answer your question? Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Anyhow, if you want to talk to me later, please come up and see me. I've got some business cards, but that's it. Yes, sir.
Actually, I have something for you, but it's not directly tied to organic, but
Right.
it's a conversation you and I had a little while ago about that I would touch on before. Healthy snacks.
Yes.
What issues or what are you seeing as far as how retailers are promoting healthy snacks? What are they referring? To some people, bananas are a healthy snack. To other people, Doritos with no salt or a snack.
That's a good question. So his question is around healthy snacks. Very good question. Here's one of those questions where, what does healthy mean? Bananas, Cheerios in a cup, an energy bar. That's kind of an ambiguous term. So everyone, that's sort of the big buzzword, is trying to help people understand how do you really define healthy snacks. Well, again, pay attention to the consumer, right? So there are health bars out there that are actually healthy, that actually have, don't have the rice, the rice sugar that actually has arsenic in it, that kind of thing. I mean, it's amazing once you start digging into products, all you can learn. So it depends on what is healthy. Healthy is defined by the consumer, right? The other thing is, the other challenge, I should say, is a lot of the brands fall into the trap of playing that game, the price game. So you've got one very popular bar, I mentioned them earlier, I love them, they're great, but 10 for 10 anywhere I go, and it doesn't matter, what day of the week it is. Now the challenge there is they're not doing anything to drive sales to my store. So to answer your question, Joe, what you need to do is you need to have the top selling items available in the market. Because if I'm a consumer and I walk into your store, I want to know that you've got the products that I care about. And then next to that section, you want to have those products that you know are going to meet my needs better. So you're going to give me an opportunity to trade up. So I walk in and say 10 for 10, oh, that's great. But wait a minute, this product is vegan, it's gluten-free, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to last me longer. That's how you grow sales. Did that help? Okay. And it's those kinds of conversations that you have. And what's great about the natural product companies is that the owners are so passionate. They get it. They're so excited about their products. Now you just need to figure out how to get all that information distilled down into a deck that's going to help you, the retailer, grow sales. Any other questions?
Break down all the shows the statistics amongst the natural products, like beverages, like snacks, or which categories are growing the fastest and have some others.
I don't actually have that. Some of that information is out there. So what is
Actually,
that?
I think this morning they had it broken down by carrot.
Oh, they did?
From the Spence data.
They did. But it's a caveat, okay?
Yes.
I used to work for them, okay? And my claim to fame there is I helped them start releasing store level and retail level data. Okay? Their data is amazing. But the problem is that their data only covers a small chunk of the natural channel. So the Nutritional Food Journal has actually a more robust database when it comes to really knowing what's going on in the channel. So there are databases, for example, Nielsen and IRI, which will give you that information for conventional. That.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What can the manufacturer do to support the retailer to give them more effective information or tools to educate the public?
Great question. What he asks is, what can the brands do? It's called the manufacturers do to help the retailers. I had a brand that didn't have a lot of money to spend, and we're trying to understand. We knew that consumers like the product, and we tried to define what does that look like. I had them run a simple Facebook campaign. And so in that campaign, they said, this is what we like, this is why we like your product, etc. I baked that into the presentation. So by going into the retailer with the data, fact-based sales, category management, and you go into the retailer and you help that retailer understand what the trends are within their category, that's going to help. And then more importantly, if you tell them why you exist, what need are you trying to meet, and how that need is going to resonate more with their shoppers. And by the way, as a side note, kind of to your question, there are a lot of retailers that will actually share their data with you freely if you apply resources. So that's something to be thought of, something to consider. So does that help? Okay. Anything else? Great. If anyone else has any other questions, please go to my website. All my 165 articles are on there. You can use it as a free resource. In addition to that, you know how to get a hold of me. I am also putting together training programs that I'll start releasing at some point to help companies like you ask those questions. And that's really what it's about. Excuse me. It's getting you to think more strategically rather than just, here's what everyone else does. This is why we're doing it because this is what's always been done. And that's the thing I'm trying to get people away from the natural channel. So, any other questions? Great. Thank you. Oh, by the way, thanks for hosting this.